2 months ago when I started, I was pretty shit at closing in general. I feel like the skill set came along very quickly. The one-on-one calls helped out a ton, the group calls, everything. The confidence that I got from the program and everything as well just helped me get through interviews super easily. First interview I did, got the job. Within like I think like the first 7 calls, I was able to close like 3 people already. And it's like my
Oh,
first ever closing role. So yeah, massive wins there. The way you really helped me actually understand what you are doing, what the point is, instead of just the word track was absolutely massive. And like when I get into a call with someone and they give me something that I didn't prepare for, that's not a part of the framework, I now have an understanding of what to do instead of just a word track. And so I can very easily just switch around and pivot from there, do what actually needs to be done. All the other guys, just having these people around you that are performing at a very high level, seeing that it is possible, having like the support from everybody else in your being able to talk with everyone, network with everyone. Yeah, it's just been massive.
just to start, Jaco, give everybody a bit of background on yourself. Let's start there.
I got into high ticket sales, the high ticket sales space in I think end of 2024. That was mostly setting, started in DM setting, and I've just kind of been in setting for about a year and a half. That I was just sort of stuck in appointment setting, and I never really like I had the courage to make the move into closing. And then about 2 months ago, I found you, Ethan, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna have to do it at some point, so I might as well do it now.
What was it that made you start working with me?
I guess just your approach with things. Well, first off, your skill set is up there. Like I was planning to make the move into closing, so I was watching a few YouTube videos and stuff like that, and I saw some of your sales calls on YouTube, and I was like, damn, this guy knows what he's doing. And just your approach with things, the fact that it's not just a framework, objection handling, just some scripts and stuff. It's very focused on like your beliefs, your habits, your values, the things that really matters in order to get you to the point that you want to go instead of just the sales side of things, which is
Yeah.
something that really stood out to me.
What would you say to somebody who believes that it's all about the scripts, the word tracks, the frameworks and nothing else, and they think the rest is all woo-woo? What would you tell them?
If you look at the high ticket space, there are so many closers out there that just they're not making any money. They're not seeing any sort of success. And I think that is the reason why. Like I've role played with so many people outside of the community, and it's just like you can see it's just not there, no matter how long they've been in sales. And I think if you just focus on the other things as well, it just takes you up so much higher.
What wins then have you had since working with me? I mean, how long has it actually been now exactly? Do you know?
It's coming up to 2 months.
Nice. Okay. So in just under 2 months, what wins have we had since being on board?
Well, obviously, 2 months ago when I started, I was pretty shit at closing in general. I feel like the skill set came along very quickly. The one-on-one calls helped out a ton, the group calls, everything. The skill set came along very quickly. When I started applying, I feel like just the confidence that I got from the program and everything as well just helped me get through interviews super easily. First interview I did, got the job. Within like I think like the first 7 calls, I was able to close like 3 people already. And it's like my
Oh,
first ever closing role. So yeah, massive wins there.
so no prior closing experience, and then you go from an appointment setter to a closing role in less than 2 months, and you've already closed three
Yeah, close
deals.
3 deals. Yep.
Hey, we can't knock that. That sounds good to me. How has what I've done contributed to that then?
Well, obviously the skill set is massive. The way you explain the like specifically the sales side of things, the framework, the word tracks and everything, it is just word tracks at the end of the day. But the way you explain them, the way you really help me actually understand what you are doing, what the point is, instead of just the word track, was absolutely massive. And like when I get into a call with someone and they give me something that I didn't prepare for, that's not a part of the framework, I now have an understanding of what to do instead of just a word track. And so I can very easily just switch around and pivot from there, do what actually needs to be done.
Nice. Yeah, we don't want to be a binary scripted closer. We want to be able to
Exactly.
adapt, right? Move on the fly. That's what sales is at the end of the day. It's just human conversation at an advanced level.
Exactly.
How has being a part of our brotherhood helped you specifically?
Just having the people around me, right? Like a lot of the people in your Joel has been a massive help. I've seen some of his calls as well. You see all the other guys just having these people around you that are performing at a very high level, seeing that it is possible, having like the support from everybody else in your being able to talk with everyone, network with everyone. Yeah, it's just been massive. And like on the group calls, the objection handling, sparring with the other guys, it's been massive.
Nice. Yeah, I think a lot of people underestimate the power of a group environment because it's all
Yeah.
well and good me being the coach, right? Me being able to teach you what I know, our one-to-ones, hold you accountable to that higher standard. But when we work together as a team, we become a mastermind at that point, and that takes people far further than just individual knowledge in a lot of
Yeah, I feel like it can
cases.
become a lot very lonely as well. Like if you just do everything by yourself, like closing specifically, you're just sort of there closing deals by yourself. But it completely changes things when you have a community to do this with.
Yeah, we're in this together, brother. That's how
Yeah.
it goes. What would you say to someone who's on the fence with working with myself, investing and joining a community like ours?
Just do it. At the end of the day, to get to the point you want to be in sales, you're going to have to invest into some sort of mentor, right? Like I always tell my friends, everybody just starting out in sales, the first thing I tell them is invest into a mentor, right? If you want to sit there and expect someone else to pay you 3, 5K on a call, you're gonna have to be able to do that yourself as well. So that's the first thing. Just you're gonna have to invest into some sort of mentor if you want to get to the high level. And I mean, you do it best, so might as well go with you.
Hey, that's a good tagline right there. And I always love to end these testimonials chats with if you could give somebody one powerful personal piece of advice, if you could give another closer something, what would that be? What would you tell them?
That's a good question. I feel like something I struggled with a lot as well is a lot of nervousness and anxiety, especially when just starting out, when having to fully make this move into closing. And I think most people are gonna, or maybe not everybody, but a lot of people are gonna struggle with that exact same thing. And I think just looking at it differently, looking at it in a way that is necessary, right? You're gonna go through that, you're gonna feel that, and you just have to take the step despite that. Because if you let that anxiety, that nervousness, uncomfort hold you back, you're never gonna get anywhere. And so even like on the first few sales calls I got onto, I was like super nervous. I was sitting there like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to get on a sales call with this guy. And the moment you start talking to him, it's like all that anxiety just falls away. And it's the same thing with like investing into yourself. That anxiety like builds up to such a high level, and the moment you do it, it's just like it's just gone. That same nervousness relates to people who need to take the step, invest into themselves. Like that same thing, the moment you make that decision, the moment you're in there, you do it, it just completely evaporates that anxiety. And like you're so glad you did it at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
no, that's absolutely awesome. What I try to tell a lot of closers and just people in general, really, is that fear is like you're looking at the water's surface, and from above, it looks like it could be this bottomless ocean
Yeah.
trench. But then the moment you actually jump, it's a puddle.
Yeah.
You just won't ever know until you've actually jumped and landed to find out. And a lot of people stay stood on the shore, unfortunately. I really appreciate this. Thanks very much for jumping on. Have you got any final words, final statements you'd make to people, or have we about summarized everything up good there?
I think that was it. I would just say if you're considering it, just do it. This is the best brotherhood out there. This is gonna take you to that next level you want to get to. So just do it. Join up.
Boom. There you go. There you've had it, boys. Catch you later. Peace.
Cheers.